In looking and working with cycling animations in this movie, we'll look at ways to go ahead and create multiple types of cycling motion on a single layer, how to approach that, and then how to animate a master layer to go ahead and include a broader base type of animation. So what we have here is a truck, and if you have access to the working files, open truck.anime for anime, and we can work on this file. This particular style of animation is called naivete. It's childlike in its approach, and we can get away with a whole bunch of effect really easily. So let's go ahead and zoom in on the scene a little bit. What we'll want to do is animate the wheels so they look like they are moving. Then we will animate the truck so it looks like it's going down a bit of a bumpy road, and then we actually have to animate the whole truck. Now, best procedures for working with an object is to always create the actions with the topmost layer of the object selected. With that selected, we can see that we also have a gradient in there for our truck that doesn't show up when we're just highlighted on the truck itself, just one of the preview options of anime. All right, the top layer is selected, Truck Master. I'll come to my Actions palette here. You open that by coming to Window and choosing Actions. I'll create New, and we'll simply name this one Wheels, and choose OK. Our timeline turns red. We know we are now editing this action itself. We'll come to Truck. And what I'll do is use my Shape tool, and I'm going to click only the shapes that I want to create the action in. This is important because if any other points highlight, they too will have their data recorded, and you may not like having that effect later on. So I'll click the hubcaps, the wheel of both of these, and we see a keyframe automatically set. Now, I need to point out that there is a bug in the Mac version of Anime Studio Pro 10, which makes editing a little more of a challenge when we're working with things like this. That is that over here on the left side of the timeline, we're missing all the icons that actually show us the individual things that we're creating keyframes for. What do those look like? If you're on the PC, we'll find something similar under the animation menu. If we chose Copy Current Frame, we get an option for all the attributes we can copy out of any one given keyframe. These are the type of items that show up independently on the left-hand side on the PC, and soon to be the Mac when they fix that with a patch. So you can animate everything. Color, stroke reveal, stroke width, all this stuff. So just wanted to point that out so that if you're on a Mac platform, you won't get too frustrated. But with this first keyframe done, let's come over here to frame 24, 1 second in the animation, and I am simply going to just change the shape here of some of this stuff. And maybe move that just a little bit, maybe drag out this point just a little bit. Working with a naive style of animation allows us really to get away with a lot of fun in precision, which just creates more emphasis on the story and less on the imagery, which is fine. Really minor moves here. So what I'll do now is come to this first keyframe inside the action. I'm going to right click and choose Noisy and accept the defaults, scale 2 and then 0.1. Let's go ahead and scrub this a little bit right here. There we go. So we're getting a bunch of action going on. Maybe we want a little more movement here inside this back tire. So I'll drag it over just a little bit further. That updates that data. I'll come to this last keyframe, and now I will choose Cycle and choose OK for the defaults. Scrubbing this now that we get just a whole level of motion going on here, which is fine. Like it. Okay. We will double click Mainline right here. That accepts that action. It's now available. The next thing I want to do is come back to the Truck Master, create a new action. We'll name this one Bumpy. But this time, instead of working with the actual individual points, I want to work with the layer. The reason for this is I don't want any data corrupting or changing the value of the data that we've got for the wheels. I want the truck body to stay the same. I don't want that shape to change at all. I only want the wheels moving. With that done, and that said, I'm at frame 1 now in the action. I will choose the truck shape layer, vector layer. I will click with my layer adjustment tool once, which is going to record the current location of the layer. I'm going to come down to frame 12. I'll go ahead and rock this a little bit, move it up a little bit. Again, pointing out another little bug that happens to be in the Mac platform. You can't copy and paste keyframe data inside of actions in this version of Anime Studio Pro. Little bit of a problem, but with the naivete style here, Not a big deal. We'll go ahead and reset this out and pull this down just a little bit. And we'll do the same little trick that we've got here. We'll go ahead and here on the first one, I'm going to choose noisy as a style here. And I don't want a lot of motion in this, so I'm going to go to 0.01 instead and accept the scale. I'll do the same thing on this item right here for tweener style, noisy, 0.01. And now I can go ahead and scrub this, and we get this motion going on with the truck, kind of bumping and jerking around. Go ahead and grab this last keyframe, choose cycle. I want this to go back to the front, and choose OK. Double click the main line, and that action is accepted. So let me zoom out right here, and we can create our total animation at this point. If I wanted repetitive type of motion, I was creating traffic with multiple trucks. Well, I'm at time frame 0 now. I can grab my layer tool, drag this entire truck main layer off to the side, and then at, say, 1 second, let me step into my frame here real quick. I can go ahead and keyframe the layer location by clicking on it at 1 second. I can go ahead and move this clear to the right. And we can also cycle this and get a truck moving and bumping along the road with cycling animation.